YTPC. Padre coming to you Friday afternoon. About time to knock off. In fact, truth be told, as I wait for some folks to show up on the old YouTuber today, I knocked off a little while ago, but not fully off. Because I have a church dinner tonight to go to in a few hours. The men's club here at church is going to be holding their dinner at a local restaurant. Looking forward to that. Other than that, getting ready to head into the weekend. And I don't know if I configured the thing right where I can see who's online or not. I see I've got a few people online. If you want to check in and let me know you're there, I'll see if the chat is popping up for me or not. And I'm going to tamp down to give you a chance to do that. And then I'll do some house cleaning. I'll let you know what's in Padre's pipe. Walter's with us. All right. Nat's with us. Good evening, both of you. Thank you for checking in. I got a cup of hot Java. My friend Ghost Cobb calls it the black mud. And the BRTV mug. By the way, anybody check out that big BRTV announcement? What did I say? I hope it was a good announcement. House cleaning. This is so nice tasting. This is a treat. I have a few ounces of this left. This ain't there no more. This is a McClellan blend, Syrian Super Balkan is what it was called. And I'm enjoying that in my Big Ben. This is called a Big Ben Vintage, for what it's worth. And I'm not going to be long on the virtual airwaves today. I wanted to say hello to folks. Check in. Like I said, in a couple hours, I got to head on out to a dinner, and I figured I'd have a cup of coffee and a pipe with my YTPC friends. Curmudgeon Piper's with us. Howdy to you, good sir. Have a little coffee break before heading out to dinner, and what a better way to do that than do it with my buddies over in the YTPC. It's overcast and chilly out where I am down here in the Big Easy, and it's going to get colder. Right now it's in the low 50s and it's going to get down into the 40s overnight. But that's not the problem. The problem is apparently this little cold front that's pushed through is going to be followed by a reinforcing cold front early next week. And they're using terms down here in New Orleans like Arctic blast. Well, someone needs to get the memo to Mother Nature that we are a subtropical environment. So whatever this Arctic blast stuff is, you people up in Michigan and wherever else, y'all can keep that. Keep it. Don't be sending it our way down here. We're not equipped for that. You know what is absolutely worse down here is when we get the cold weather, the freezing weather. Cold fronts are good for piping. You're right about that. Yeah, there is something special about maybe, especially if you have a fireplace in your home and you smoke indoors by the fireplace. If not, just outside on a patio. I'm gonna pull this a little closer if y'all don't mind. Bear with me. Barbed Wire Piper's with us. He says hello from Kennewick, Washington. So I'm assuming that's another cold spot on the map. But yeah, you know, the cold weather can be a good time for piping. It really can. Hold on a second. I'll make sure I got this puppy. This is so flavorful. And it really is a treat. Again, because, well, the Syrian Latakia ain't there no more. The blender, McClellan, ain't there no more. Now I feel like my head is too big. That's nature's problem, though. I was just trying to see when people chime in something I could read for them there. So what do you guys have planned for the weekend? I noticed there is a lot of good movies that are opening this weekend, one of which is the new Stephen King flick called Dr. Sleep. I would love to take some time to go see that movie. That looks really good. We've got some big sports stuff happening down here in New Orleans. Our beloved Saints are playing the ever-hated Atlanta Falcons. We call them the Dirty Birds down here. I think their record's 1-7. We happen to be 7-1. But you know, when these kind of games take place, you just toss the records out the window. It just doesn't matter because these are two rivals. So what about you guys? What's going on in your neck of the woods this weekend? And let me ask this. Did anybody see the, Bob's with us, Bob Barnes, good evening, sir. Did anybody see the cover of BRTV Guide this week? That's awesome. Great shot of our friend Matches, 86, I'm sorry, I gotta say it right, Matches, 860, smoking the Friday Savinelli, which is actually a Big Ben. Some haunted, not so haunted bookshop. No, it's not. McClellan, Syrian Balkan, what do they call it? Balkan Supreme. That's what's in my pipe tonight. And of course, I'm sure Matches will be doing his live show in a few hours. I'm the warm-up act for that. It is a great cover, isn't it indeed? Yeah, Smoking Chimney. Hey there, sir. Glad to have you. We were just talking about fireplaces. Nothing wrong with having a chimney. There's another, speaking of fire, there's a movie opening this weekend. Looks like a cute kind of family comedy called Playing with Fire. That would be one if you got, kids or something and you want to go to it. Looks like it would be family friendly. I think it's only rated PG. How often do you get a movie that's rated PG these days? Anybody seen any good movies out there? I think I'm asking it because I think this weekend I want to take in a movie. And I'm reluctant to go, if I go at night, I'm reluctant to take in a movie that's opening. Chilling in a Cabin, nice, very nice. Velvet in My Mirror, Barbed Wire Piper says. Velvet. I'm always reluctant to take in a movie when it opens that first weekend just because it's crowded. And I'll be honest, I don't do well with crowds. I don't like people breathing my air. So I'm more inclined to take like a day off during the week and go to an afternoon matinee. And sometimes when you do that, you can have the theater to yourself, or maybe there's a sprinkling of other. Theater may hold, I don't know, 100 folks in one screen, and there may be like 10 of you in there, so it's awesome. Holy Smokes is with us. Good morning from here. Where's here? Holy Smokes, you said good morning. My goodness, you must be can't be in Europe, huh? It would still be evening there, I believe. Let us know where you're at. Nearest theater to Bob Barnes is 50 miles away. My goodness. Oh, Philippines. That's right. Yes, sir. I remember you now. Father Holy Smokes is what I should say. Welcome from the Philippines. You guys, if you haven't checked out Holy Smokes' channel, you should do that. Give him a sub. Over in the Philippines, we have a Philippine brother of the Briar with us this evening, actually morning where he is, over in the Philippines. 50 miles away is the nearest movie theater for Bob Barnes. Must be living in the rural area of wherever his neck of the woods is. What about sports-wise? Like I said, down here in New Orleans, we've got our hated Dirty Birds that we're going to be playing in some NFL football. Bob says indeed. And that should be a good game. I hope it's not like, too good, too close of a game, but Atlanta always plays New Orleans tight. New Orleans always plays Atlanta tight. It doesn't matter what the records are for those teams. They come ready to beat each other up, and that makes for some good football, that's for sure. And then, I don't know how I didn't mention this yet. Hello, Cal Delta Piper. He says, go Niners. I don't know how I let this pass until this point into this talk. LSU versus Alabama in Tuscaloosa. You know I'm a Tiger boy. And that's going to be quite the game. Look, I'm biased. I'm an LSU grad. But OU needs to step up their game. Well, yeah. Look, man, there's a lot of football to be played. Lots of things can change, trust me. This is, I think, legitimately the first year in quite some time that LSU has a chance of knocking off Alabama. And I say that with great respect for Bama. If I'm not mistaken, Ghost Cop's a Bama guy. Piping artist Stephen Parikh Piper Skip with us. Hello all. Hi Father. Hello. How's the weather over where you guys are in the Houston area? Is it cold and dreary like it is here? Probably so, because I think y'all got this a little ahead of us. But this is probably the first time in, I don't know, half dozen years or so. It's cold, she says. It is cold. Where LSU, I think, has a legit chance of taking down Bama. We've played them tight a couple years ago. I mean, we played them through 3 quarters, really tight. This year, we could be able to take them. We really could. If we play up to our potential, and if Bama, if we can get them to make some mistakes, yeah, it could be a good game. Colorado Pipe is in the house. Go LSU, says Steph and Parikh Piper Skip. Appreciate that. Go Tigers. Geaux, as we say down here. And you know, there's down here, there's this love-hate relationship with Nick Saban, the coach of Alabama, because he was, he was the coach at LSU, brought us to national championships, got us one, went off to the pros, realized that coaching the pros was not his forte, and then came back to college and has been at Alabama since, and has just been a phenomenal football coach for the Crimson Tide. I mean, it's just a premier program. You can't take anything from them. You just got to give them their due. But man, go Tigers! That's what I'm hoping for this weekend. I did. I guess it was earlier this week. I think. Yeah, you said go Niners, Cal Delta. I did my top 5 list of bulk blends for the winter cold weather time. They were all some Latakia. They were all easily available, because that's the problem these days. You can get into something and suddenly it's hard to get a hold of. There's no rhyme or reason for it. We got a Kansas City Chiefs person in here. That's piping artist Steph liking the Chiefs. I had mentioned in that video a couple of years ago, I'd done a top 5 list, and I'd put Skiff mixture in there as one of those English blends that I like. And at the time, there was a ton of it. It was everywhere. Now you can't, it's harder to get some of those Samuel Galwith blends. It's harder to get those in the Esoterica these days. It's crazy. In fact, my B&M has Esoterica stacked up. So I don't know what to make of that. But if you're looking for some good cold weather blends, the Syrian Super Balkan's not going to be on that list, obviously. Number one, because it's not available anymore for 2 reasons. A, it's Syrian Latakia. B, we got Seahawks coming up there. B, McClellan. So yeah, we're not gonna find that anymore. But the stuff that I listed in that video, if you're interested, it's some stuff that I'm truly enjoying, and it's good for this kind of weather. But like I said, we're going to be into the 40s tonight, which is cold enough for down here in the south. But when the news starts using terms like Arctic blast, folks, that means it's time for old Padre to just lock the doors, hunker down, and stay in and do some Netflix or something. I am not a cold weather boy. I'm just not. This is the time of the year I would favor going down to the Caribbean and maybe having an umbrella drink or something. Cool weather, that's one thing, and this is testing the limits where we are right now. Cold weather, once you get below about the high 40s or something, you count me out. Hey Ethan, boy, good to hear and see from you. I pray all is well with you, Your travels are complete these days, or are you stateside, or what's going on? Type a little something in and let us know. Arctic blast, 27 degrees and some snow. Yeah, but Bob, y'all are used to that. I mean, come on. Well, we can't drive, period. Don't worry about weather. Down here in New Orleans, we don't know how to drive. And when you throw in wind and then rain that freezes, I mean, you'll cripple us. You really will. This whole city will just, it's done. It's over. I mean, it really is. We are not used to this kind of stuff. He laughs. He says, LOL. But it's true. It's true. You know what the worst part about enjoying a pipe and doing a Facebook Live is? For me, anyway. 2 flakes equals state shutdown. That is correct. So we don't even need the flakes. We just need the threat of flakes. And you know what will happen? We treat it sort of like we treat hurricanes category 1 and 2, where we stick around and don't evacuate, which means we make a run to the grocery store and we pick up supplies. The really important supplies, though, you know, like chips and salsa and booze, your favorite tobacco, so that, you know, you get stuck in. Johnny Osprey from Rhode Island's with us. Hello. You got to have the supplies for when the city shuts down and you can't move around. Back in Washington, did I get that right? It faded on me. I thought I saw something about dealing with health issues. I hope that is not the case, and but I'll be praying. Are they related to the accident? I'm assuming that was Ethan. That went by so quick. Thanks for keeping me in your prayers. Yeah, you betcha, brother. You betcha. For those who might not have been around the community, I guess, gosh, it had to be over a year ago. Maybe 2 years ago. Ethan can let me know. He was doing some missionary work, and I forget where he was. Somewhere out like Eastern Europe. I'm bad with geography, so forgive me, brother. But he was in an accident in really bad shape, had to have a bunch of surgeries, had some complications, and we were doing some heavy duty praying because it was touch and go for a little bit there. So we're blessed to have him back stateside again. I was going to say the Ukraine, but I don't know if that's where you were. South Central, okay. Oh yeah, that's barbed wire talking to Ethan. Okay, are y'all near each other? Y'all could get together and have a pipe. That would be neat. I'm looking over there because I got a clock on the wall. And I got a couple of errands I need to run, and then I got to freshen up. And as I said, we have a dinner tonight for church. It's the men's club dinner, which is really nice. That's just a good, hard-working group over here at my church, and they're getting together at a restaurant tonight. And it's kind of the unofficial kickoff. You know, in December, everybody starts having their office parties for the holidays and everything, and so they wanted to get ahead of the curve and do something earlier in November so that we wouldn't be competing. So this Friday night, that's what we're doing. We're heading out and having a meal together. Should be a wonderful time. The restaurant that they've chosen, I've only been there once. It was a while ago, but everybody raves on it. Move to your town. We need a home church. Well, I tell you what, if you moved to my hometown and you didn't come to my church, I'd be upset with you. Both got full-time jobs. This is Ethan. All right, first shift, she's second shift after work, homeschool our daughter, and it fades on me. I got to get a second phone in here when I do these kinds of things. Well, look, brother, I tell you what, you know, as I was rambling about you before, you have been and will remain in our prayers. I'm sorry to hear that you're still battling some health issues. We got Batman's plumber. That's got to be one of the most creative YouTube handles ever. Thank you for being with us on this Friday afternoon. I'm a little reluctant to ask what Batman's plumber is smoking. There's you know, if you write comedy, there's a whole bunch of directions you could go with that. Comedies, that's the other thing. I got to talking about movies. I love comedies. If anybody has seen a good comedy that's currently out, let me know. Again, I got a hankering to see a movie, I think, this weekend. And there's some dark stuff out there. I saw The Joker. not going to go back and see it again. It was nothing. It was a great movie. Boy, that movie, it's just dark. I mean, it's dark. It really is dark. I also saw a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know that this movie's out in every market. It may just be selective. It's one of those AMC artisan films called The Lighthouse. And the only reason I got Murder Mystery, is that a movie? The only reason I got attracted to Lighthouse is I saw the trailer and the guy was smoking a pipe in it. But it's an artsy kind of film. It's done in black and white. It's also done not widescreen. It's the old standard def screen, black and white, dark in a different kind of way than the Joker. Princess Bride, Monty Python, Holy Grail. You're giving some classics on Netflix. Good for you. Knives Out. You're so right. Where is the moral compass? Dark is an understatement. Yeah, yeah. You're talking about the Joker, because that was some dark stuff there, man. I mean, that was some really, really dark stuff. But The Lighthouse was interesting. I don't know that I'd recommend it, and I'll tell you why. I found it was long, it was slow. I have a little tad touch, a head notice of the ADD, and so for me, that long and that slow and that artsy, oh man, that takes a lot for me. I want to see it, but I'm afraid I'll come out depressed. Yeah, precisely why I'm looking for a good comedy. A lot of new entertainment is very dark. Tobacco Pipes International says, I think you're spot on with that. There was a couple months ago, there was one out, and I don't recommend this because it was kind of a raunchy movie, but what was it called? It was about these little kids, these three boys. I can't even think of what it was called. But they got into, it was just, I don't know. I shouldn't even say that. Y'all, I'm ruining my reputation in the YTBC that y'all know that I went and saw that movie. I mean, it wasn't like as raunchy as, say, like Porky's or one of those old movies, but it was pretty bad. I just kept thinking, how the heck did they get these kids to play in this R-rated movie and to do the things that they had to do, the props that they had to use and hold, and I don't know. It was, on the one hand, it was funny, and it was the kind of humor that didn't require a whole lot of thought, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. But you're a Dumb and Dumber fan, yeah. The other one I'll tell you that is good, I also saw it, and I would recommend this. You just got to go in. It's dark in its own way, but Zombieland Double Tapped, oh my goodness. That stuff is just funny. It really is. Scary stuff. You're reading Stephen King, and I missed it. I couldn't get far enough into there to see what it was, but I do want to see Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, and I think that opens this weekend. But yeah, we got Kevin with us. Blazing Saddles. I'll tell you, Nat, that's a classic, and in the politically correct world we live in today, I wonder if that movie could ever be made. You know, if it was coming out for the first time. I'm not trying to excuse it because it really, it's just got inappropriate. Sometimes humor is inappropriate, and sometimes that's okay. Sometimes we just do need to laugh. But Blazing Saddles, definitely in a category all its own. Funny movie. When that came out and I was a kid, I guess it was a good thing that I did not fully understand it back then. But look, that's the way it is. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I'm a fan of Warner Brothers cartoons. The old Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig and the Roadrunner and Coyote, all that stuff. That stuff is funny cartoons, allegedly made for children, but if you watch it and you know anything about the socio-political, socio-cultural history of the time, the zeitgeist of when this was being written, folks, there is a lot of political stuff that's written into there. There's a lot of social commentary. So it's made for children, but written, Looney Tunes, that's right, Kevin, thank you. It's made for children, but it was clearly written by adults for adults. There's adult humor intertwined in and out of that. And to be able to, again, growing up on that as reruns as a kid, it was a staple on Saturday morning, and it was old then. And watching it now and just seeing it through a different lens, seeing all the the post-World War II political sort of statements that are being made in the Looney Tunes cartoons, it really is, it gives you a different appreciation for the art form of it. So this is so funny. I had no idea what I was going to talk to you guys about today. I just really wanted to enjoy a little something while I was, before I go to dinner. We wised up, Padre, but kids do watch Looney Tunes, also learn some classical music. That's the truth. That is absolutely the truth. You got your kill the rabbit. All right, I won't do that to you. You still watch those cartoons, Kevin, as do I. Star Trek, says piping artist Steph. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to go off onto a talk today about entertainment, but that's just what's on my mind. I want to spend the weekend maybe getting in some entertainment time. I've got a meeting tomorrow morning, and then intercessory prayer at late morning, 11 o'clock, and then I'll do some finishing touches on my message for Sunday. But then I got a 2:30 football game, so I don't know when I'm going to get a movie in, because the LSU-Alabama game, I think the kickoff is at 2:30 tomorrow. And I believe the president is supposed to be at that game. And I don't follow these kinds of things. I just, maybe he's gone to other games before. Maybe other presidents have gone to college games. I'm just wondering what that's going to do to the stadium in terms of security and such. He was down here in Louisiana earlier in the week because we have a gubernatorial election coming up next Saturday. So, of course, he's coming down here trumping around for the Republican candidate. This time around, he was up in northern Louisiana in Monroe, so it didn't really impact us. But, you know, Mike Pence came down for the primary election, and it's great, you know, we get news coverage and even national news coverage, and really, these kinds of things boost the economy when famous people come through and such, you know. But it's a pain in the butt. It'll wreck your traffic system. And folks, we don't have a great traffic system down here in New Orleans. It doesn't take much to wreck us. So when politicians come, do we record? We do, and yeah, unfortunately, I am shorthanded on web help these days, and so we haven't placed anything up on the web in a while. In an ideal world, every message is recorded and placed up. I've been putting a lot of work into, and I wish I had a way to videotape this because I think it would be useful for people, and I could put it up on the channel here. I'm doing a seminar, not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow, called Taming the Stress Monster. For those who may not know, prior to my call to ministry, I had worked, and I still work, I'm still licensed as a psychologist. So I have done behavioral medicine, clinical psychology work. I was on the faculty of a medical school and such. So my specialty was in stress management and stress disorders and the psychological components of medical disorders and such. So I'm doing a seminar next Saturday. It's a 3-hour workshop called Taming the Stress Monster, Taming the Holiday Stress Monster, to prep people for dealing with the holidays. Because holidays, you know, everybody, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Nonsense. It's really not for everybody. It is a horrible time of the year for folks. We need to acknowledge that, and people need to be able to say, hey, I'm not okay. So that's part of this seminar I'm going to be doing. It's also going to be a crossroads of using scripture, because the Bible has a lot to say about how we handle our stresses, how we handle things like depression, how we handle things like anxiety. And psychology has a lot to say with that. So it's a meshing of the two using a Christian faith lens as well as clinical psychology. If I lived in your city, I would help with posting. Oh man, I tell you what, I could use that. You know, as in a lot of churches, what ends up happening in that arena is you get teenagers, and they're wonderful because they keep up with this kind of stuff. Hey there, our artillery bugs. I hope you find some help with that. Thank you. Yeah, so you get teenagers, and then they go away to college, you know. So it would be great if I had, you know, somebody in the adult range who's going to be around for a while who could run a program like that, kind of be the minister of media, so to speak, to make sure that, you know, things are running smoothly for services, that the mics are all right, and that the board is set up properly to record, the recordings are made, the MP3 is made from the message and placed up online. I'm just one guy, and so when you're shorthanded and don't have somebody dedicated to doing that, as much as you want to make sure that you keep up with those kinds of things, other stuff happens, and that's just lower on the totem pole. So I say all that to say, if you move down here, I got a job for you, brother. Oh man, it is actually, it's already been over 30 minutes, and it's 10 minutes till the hour. I don't think that clock is right. That must be 10 minutes, if that clock is even close to being right. So I'm going to be signing off in just a moment or two, because, like I said, I've got a couple of errands I need to run before I go over to the men's club dinner, and I need to freshen up before I do that, brush the old teeth since I just had some coffee and smoked a pipe. BRTV Guide, that was a great shot of matches. I didn't have time yet to read the whole thing, but that's always a fascinating thing to look at. Just to be, are you good with that kind of stuff? Do you do media things? I know you do art on canvas and such, but media it's a graphic art is its own thing, and sound and such. Yes. Okay. Well, what are you waiting for? Y'all just move. That's horrible. I'm trying to coax her to come down here just because I need her help. Oh, where was I going? Anyway, I don't know. So yeah, I guess what I need to be doing, because I can't complete a thought, is getting ready to sign off. The BRTV Guide. That was it was great matches. Going to have his show coming up in a couple of hours. Lord only knows how cold it is up there. It seems like down here in the south anyways, brutal as our summer was, it was kind of an extreme summer in those cases. It looks like we're going to have one of those extreme winters that we have every 3 to 5 years or so, where it's just cold. Once the cold comes, it's colder than it normally is. And in deep south, that's not typical for us. It's not that it doesn't happen. Every few years we get snow and ice and such, and it's a lot of fun. But it's kind of a pain in the butt too. But this Arctic blast, the term they're using, November is really early for that. About the earliest you get that is late December down here, January, February more commonly. So yeah, it's kind of early, but we did have a brutal summer. So I guess it all averages out. That's just this, don't get me started on a weather rant. You guys know where that would go. So anyway, I am going to sign off, folks. I got to get to it. I do hope y'all are having a wonderful weekend. If you're watching this live, I want to thank you. If you're watching in replay, I want to thank you. Drop me a comment down below and let me know you watched it in replay if that's the case. And whatever you're going to do this weekend, I hope it brings you great joy. If you're going to go out and see a movie, don't see something too dark. There's some dark stuff out there. If you're going to watch some football, all I can say is who dat and go Tigers. And I guess maybe I'll get on Monday and we'll see how my Tigers and how my Saints did this weekend. Bless you too, Outborns. Every one of y'all stay safe. Know that I love you and can't wait till we can talk again. Have a great weekend. Padre wishing you and yours God's peace, grace, and blessings. Have a fantastic weekend, folks.